Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Spiritual Crash. This is episode 10. I am your host, Gethin Mayers, and today we're going to be talking about new chapters. So, chapters are quite an interesting topic because obviously everyone goes through different phases in their life, and it's up to you if you write your own story and you class it as a chapter, or you just live in one big chapter. But for me, I break my life down into chapters just because I feel like you develop a lot, and I feel like it's unfair that you call yourself the same as when you was a child or when you was younger. Because when you really put it into perspective, we're constantly growing. And sometimes you grow into a big, strong, person. Other times we learn mistakes, we make mistakes, and we feel like we're at rock bottom. So it all depends on a lot of things. And every time these situations happen, whether we improve or we go downhill, every single time this happens, it's a new chapter. When you recover from it, or when you have this new major event, I class as a new chapter. We learn something new. So I recently have just come back from Thailand, and I've been to Thailand quite a bit. So I've been 3 times now. The first time I went, I got bit by a spider. So I had to spend 2 weeks of my 4-week holiday in hospital, another birthday in hospital. And then I went again last year for Christmas. Oh, last year or the year before that, Jesus. So I went for the New Year's. So I went on Boxing Day, New Year's, came back end of Feb. This year I went before Christmas and then came back on the New Year's. And this time I went, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. So the first year, I absolutely loved it, even though I was in hospital. So I told myself I had to come back out just because I need to experience it properly. Second time I came out, absolutely amazing. The vibe was incredible. And every time I came out, I said, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight in the ring. I'm going to do it. I'm going to really go out my comfort zone. And I'm really going to challenge myself. First 2 times it didn't happen. So the third time I came out, the coach come up to me and he said, you fight. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do the fight. So I did the fight. Really good experience from start to finish, and I'm really grateful I was actually able to experience the fight. And this really got me thinking this time around in Thailand, because I went to the same place, the same gym every single time. It made me realize that each different time I was at a different point in my life. So the first time I went, I was only just starting my spiritual journey, my change. It was my first year sober. So yeah, I knew who I was, but I didn't really think about it much, if that makes sense. I was still in that mindset of laughing, joking, that kind of thing. I wasn't really putting much focus into the training. I was training, but I wasn't doing it properly. I was just kind of half-hearting it. And then obviously I got bit by the spider, so I can't even train anyway properly. And it really, really did make me realize a lot. Like every single time I've gone to Thailand, it's been a different chapter in my life. It's been a completely different chapter. I was at a different stage in my life. I was in a different mentality. So the second time I went out, my ex at the time, she broke up with me while I was out in Thailand. I had bad news before leaving to do with my previous company, and there was just so much negativity around me, and yet I had such an amazing time because I didn't allow it to interfere me. Whereas this time I was in a better position. I had a really good year. I made the most of it. Even though it was one of the worst years of my life, I made the most of it. So financially and stuff, it wasn't the best because lots happened, but I made the most of it. So I was going out in a better headspace because I always had this positive attitude. And yet this time I felt more negative. While I was out there, and I'm not too sure why. I'm really not too sure why. And I think it's just because of where I am in my life. I'm really ambitious at the moment, and I'm really trying to push lots of different things. But I do think it's from where I am in my life. And obviously there's some of the people out there as well, they're not all full of energy. They're not all positive. Some people really do just bring you down when you go traveling. And I realized that I didn't want to be around all of them. There was lots of people that I was really happy to be around. There was a bunch of Germans who started teaching me German. Lucas, Meldin, Chico. They were absolutely lovely. And then Justine come out. Justine's a French girl who's a photographer who really inspired me to start taking pictures. And she really inspired me to look at the world in a different way. And the conversations I had with Justine were absolutely incredible. The laughs and the jokes with the Germans are absolutely amazing as well. You know, they're really good friends, and planning a trip to Germany to go and see them. Then you also got Gil. I was able to see Gil. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. There was old friends like Jory and people from last year, you know. But yeah, it didn't feel the same. And there was still people messaging me, and you meet loads of new people and stuff, but it just didn't feel the same. And I feel like it's because it's an end of a chapter for me. I've been there 3 times. I've done the fight now. I won the fight, and it was a first round knockout, head kick to the jaw. And yeah, first round knockout. And after that moment, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really know what my plan is out here now, because I set out to just train, and then I ended up doing the fight, the whole mission that I'd been going there for, and it was just a different experience. So yeah, I'm very grateful for, you know, Justine coming back out, Gil still being out there, seeing Jory again, meeting the Germans, meeting all the amazing people I met. There was a Canadian called Zimo. He was absolutely amazing, you know, and I was able to say Umut again. He's another German, Turkish German, and it was absolutely a pleasure to see him again, because I met him last year, and this is what I'm saying. Like I was able to see some old friends again. I was able to spend Christmas, New Year's with a lot of them, and the people who was there to watch my fight, it meant something to me, you know. So it's got me thinking. I've come back home now, and I've been really stuck on the idea. What is this chapter that I'm in? What is this chapter? And I think this is the chapter for the grinding. I think this is the chapter where I really put in the work, where I really focus on the direction I want to go with my life. Whereas before, I was kind of doing everything at once rather than putting all my focus into one thing. I was kind of dabbling here, dabbling there. This year, I'm going to really put my focus into my career. So this is what really got me thinking. So my career, obviously I'm a psychic medium. That's my career. And I'm also a TikTok influencer now. And it's crazy that I'm able to say that I'm a TikTok influencer, because I never thought I would have got to the stage. I never thought I would have got to the stage where I'm able to say that. But yeah, I am a TikTok influencer. So while I was out in Thailand, I hit 10k followers, which don't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. It's opened up so many opportunities for me now, which is crazy to think that 10,000 plus people are interested in watching my videos and supporting me. And I used to post silly little Snapchat stories when I was younger. I've always been a bit of a person who loves being on camera, loves inspiring people, love telling stories. And now I can do that on the TikTok platform. So the mediumship and the TikTok, they go hand in hand. This is why I'm doing the podcast as well, because it all goes hand in hand. It's all about getting that awareness out there. And it's crazy to me to think that my dreams are coming to reality. So I was thinking about, like, you know, finding a girlfriend and stuff like that and building together, you know, but I don't know. I feel like this year I don't need that extra stress at the moment. I need to get the foundation, the structure built before I get the luxuries of having a partner, because I feel like if the right person's going to come along, they're going to come along. And before, I was just flat out on like the Tinder, on the Hinge, on all the dating apps, you know, because I was just looking for that person. Like, I was putting all my focus into trying to find that person. I was going on dates that they were quite pointless dates. And it really put into perspective that, yeah, I went on a date recently and she was an absolutely lovely girl. But I don't know, it just, to be fair, I made a few mistakes and stuff like that where, I just made a few mistakes. So don't blame her that it went away. But this is another thing that really got me thinking, really got me, I should put my focus into my career. I really should do it while I'm young. And this is the new chapter of me, is my new mindset where I need to just get a routine. I need to pull my finger out and actually achieve the things that I've said I wanted to achieve, rather than doing them half-hearted, rather than putting my attention into other areas. I need to put my whole focus into this, just for this year, because a lot can happen in a year, and hey, never know. If the right person comes along and I meet them naturally, I think that's going to be better than, the dating apps and trying looking for it. I'm going to wait for the person to come naturally, And it really put me into perspective when I was traveling and I was seeing like some of the couples out there and how they met. And I want a story like that. I don't want just like, oh yeah, we matched on Tinder or we matched on Hinge. I want a story like how a lot of the couples out there, they met. Like I hear couples met during work, and I hear couples met from like family friends, or when they was just out in the shop. There was a couple who met traveling, and it's crazy. So the first time I went to Thailand, there was a couple. One was Russian. I can't remember where the other was from, but one was a lawyer. One was like, he played poker. He was a professional like gambler kind of thing. And they got a kid now, and they met in Thailand the first time I went. Like, that's an incredible story. There's also a couple I know. One lived in England, one lived in France, and they make it work. They make a long distance relationship work, and they plan to go and travel with each other. So like, it's crazy to think like, these people have met each other naturally, and they've got an amazing story, rather than like, oh yeah, I met on Tinder, I met on Hinge. Don't get me wrong, like if you've met your partners that way, well done, it's worked for you, but it's just not working for me. So I actually deleted all the dating apps and everything the other day off my phone, just because I'm done with it. Again, it's an end of a chapter, it's a new start, it's a new beginning for me. So yeah, I've deleted all the dating apps and all, and I'm going to meet someone naturally. This is the new chapter. So I'm going to be putting all my focus into my career. So what does this entail? So we're going to be looking for more mediumship. So I'm going to be teaching more people the courses, the mediumship. I'm going to be looking at setting up my own development circle. I'm also going to be looking at more shows, more churches, more fairs, more events, so that we can get our name out there. I need to be more consistent with the posting on the Facebook page for the Medium Mayors, and on TikTok. We're going to tie it all together. So we started doing a thing. It's Mediumship Mondays is called. So every Monday we do mediumship for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. And I think this is going to be a really good way to tie both of them together, because originally I set up the TikTok to help push the mediumship page. And I realized the type of content I was posting, it didn't really have anything to do with mediumship. So I've kind of rebranded the whole TikTok, and I'm doing it in my own way. I'm doing it in my own niche, if you will. And my niche is to just spread positivity. So that's such a broad subject, which covers quite a wide variety of things. So I post a lot of like me just dancing, me doing things we're out of your comfort zone, and I can interpret the mediumship because that brings positivity, it brings comfort, and it's also a good way for me to develop my mediumship, get myself out there, meeting new people and new opportunities. So TikTok is going to be a crucial thing. So we've set ourselves a goal of 50k followers by the end of the year, which is very doable. It's very doable. I just got to put the work in. I got to figure out content that actually draws people in. I need to work on my lives, etc. But this new chapter is all about me growing. It's all about me developing before I feel like I'm ready to go out the world with someone else. So we're going to be quite reserved this year. Like, I said I was going to improve on my messages for people, but if I'm really honest with you, it hasn't happened. My responses to people aren't very good at all. But it is something I am working on. It is something that we'll get eventually, you know? And yeah, I just really like this new chapter, this new mindset I'm in. I'm going to be keeping the weight off as well. So I'm just focusing mainly on my health, on my career, and just improving myself as a person. So this begs the question, what are you all doing in your new chapter? If you're in the new chapter, you might be in the middle of a chapter, but what are you doing towards this chapter? What are you doing? What's your ups? What's your downs? What's the pros? What's the cons? Have you thought about your chapters recently? And it wasn't until, like I said, I came home from Thailand that I actually thought about this new chapter, that I actually realized I'm in this new era where the energy felt different. So next time I go traveling, I'm going somewhere different. I'm going, I don't know, Bali or Brazil, or I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to go somewhere different and set myself a different goal. So it's going to be very interesting, and I'm excited to see what this year actually has to come. My diary's filling up left, right, and centre, but it's really interesting the fact that anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And I had a big realization that, yeah, I need to pull my finger out a little bit. I need to actually embrace this new chapter, take the opportunities, and look at it with a positive mindset. Even though I'm a very positive guy, I did have very tunnel vision. And like I said, I had the focus on the wrong thing. I was just focused on trying to find a girlfriend, trying to find a relationship, and it just wasn't working. It's that I compromised other areas of my life because I was just so focused on this idea. So now I'm just going to let it come naturally. I'm only 24, so I don't know why I was trying to rush my life, trying to find the partner and stuff. And it's crazy to think that I am only 24. So I got my whole life ahead of me. People find it crazy that I'm only 24 as well. So yeah, I'm going to have lots of chapters and stuff. And yeah, so far, so good. This year has really sent me on a good spiral. I got lots of churches booked in, lots of events booked in, and the only way is up. And yeah, so I'm working on writing a book. This is something I want to get done by the end of this year as well. I want to release my first book by the end of the year. I'm also set myself the goal of 50k TikTok followers, like I said, and I also want to do my first ticket event that I organize this year. So I'm going to hire a venue out on my own, and it's going to be my first ticket event that we're going to be sorting. I have got a website in the process of being made as well, which is very exciting. So there'll be more news on that when I actually do eventually upload it and make it live. But yeah, I'm really, really glad about the people I've met. And there's always that saying, in a reason, season, lifetime people. And when you really do think about the people in your life at the moment, whether they're there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, they definitely challenge you. They definitely help you in the ways you're meant to be helped. And I think it's really important that you sit down and you talk to yourself and you remind yourself the only thing in life you can control is your own actions, how you respond to things. Control your mind, control your life. And I had a reality check, and I really did realize that, yeah, this is what I need to start doing. So this is me just giving you a little insight to me about the new chapter that's coming forward. There's going to be lots of big things coming. And obviously stay tuned to the TikTok, because I'm getting more consistent with the TikTok. I'm trying to get a bit more creative with the type of videos, but it's just all trial and error at the moment. And I got to figure out what actually works best. What actually works best for the type of content. But yeah, this is just a little ramble. I know it's quite aimed at me, but I know there's lots that you can actually take from it and add to your own life. Like, what areas are you putting your focus in at the moment that need changing, or you feel like are in a new chapter, or you feel a bit stuck? Just remember, nothing changes if it don't change. So I know that's like quite well, yeah, obviously, but how many of you are doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results? I used to be guilty of it. I was, like I said, I was flat out on the Tinder trying to find the love of my life, as they say. And it was the same result every single time. So like, how many of you are doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results? Just think about that final sentence. How many of you are doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results? And hey, you never know, you might feel inspired after listening to this podcast and feel like you can tackle the world, you can take on the world, and you're going to be able to find your new chapter, your new goal. Because it's always healthy to set reasonable goals, or even goals that are slightly out of reach. Like I could probably set myself the goal of 200,000 followers by the end of the year. And if I really put the work in to do it, yeah, I'd absolutely achieve it, or I'd get very close, because some people blow up overnight. But I like to have reasonable goals that keeps me motivated to go, because when a goal feels close, you feel motivated. When it feels like it's a million miles away, you don't feel motivated. So this is why I always break it down into little steps. This is why, like, when you're losing weight, for instance, I know it's nice to have, like, say for instance, you're 100 kg and you want to get to 80 kg. That's only 20 kg you have to lose. But don't that seem a lot bigger than, right, I'm 100 kg, right, let's get down to 95 to start with. Which seems like more doable, which seems like you're more going to be motivated to do, because one's closer than the other. I know it's not it's a marathon, not a sprint, but I know I'd rather aim for a small goal, break it down into little sections, and work towards something big. So I'm just going to leave that with you. This has been episode 10 of The Spiritual Crash. Again, I've been Gethin, and I'm looking forward to being more consistent with the podcast. Every Monday, there's going to be a new episode of Spiritual Crash uploaded. I've set my mission this year, so there should be 52 episodes plus. Wait, no, I've only just come back. Can't do the maths on that. What is it, like 48 episodes? I'm not too sure, but all I know is I'm proud of you. I believe in you. And let's just go and smash life wherever it throws at us, and let's find our new chapter in life. Thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely amazing day, night, whenever you're listening to us. God bless.